We have a ProCharged cammed 5th gen Camaro in for a consultation this morning. This car has some drivability issues. What we've been told is that it drives well full throttle, but if you're around town it'll surge and die. Sometimes when you put the clutch in, the RPMs will drop. Sometimes they'll start climbing after you put the clutch in. A whole bunch of weird things. It has a Nick Williams 102mm throttle body on it, and I assume that's probably part of the problem, but we're going to get it in the shop. We're going to put it on the lift, do our pre-tune inspection on it, take a look, see what we can find, pull the existing calibration off of it, and see what we can learn from that. I'm going to take the ozone machine out. And I'm a little too short for this, so let's scoot this up. Okay, yeah, I think we can help that. No. Yeah, that needs some help. Man. I wish these had electric steering. Ah. That's gonna have to be good. Oh, we've got some idle now. Right. Yeah, I think we can help that one just a little bit. Oh, stepping in my drip tray. We have the small inlet. It appears we are running a master cooler on this. Could be part of the surging, especially since it probably doesn't have VE on. That's been monkeyed with. Hopefully those are good connections. We want to make sure the map sensor works.
Idle quality?
I'd say that's red. It's dying on us. You got a 5th gen Camaro. This should not have this problem. Oh, wow, that's one way to just bend that over. Grab my phone, make sure you guys can see that. This tab normally sticks almost straight out, and it's just been folded over to hold that. Instead of drilling out the rivets, they just cut it clean here. The actual instructions from ProCharger say to drill out the spot weld so that that piece comes off instead of just bending it over like that. Pressurized cooling system. Got some sludge. That's interesting to see. Look at this.
Yeah.
I wish we could pull the radiator cap off and see what's under it.
Okay.
Should not be sludge on that. Make sure I can see on camera. There you go. Yeah, thank you, Mr. GoPro. Does he? Are they all same pressure?
So far. I mean, exactly.
You can tell a lot about the owner of a car by what they set their tire pressure to. That oil looks awfully black. It is full, but it is clearly stained. Doesn't feel very viscous, but it is what it is. At least it has oil.
I usually prefer them to have oil.
Yeah, don't we all? I'm gonna go up. And where's Creeper? So we were told that this one likely has an exhaust leak, and I do kind of see what he's saying about the carbon blowing out on top. It's not as bad as I was expecting. I've seen worse really come through, but that definitely does need a little bit of attention there on the exhaust. Move the drip trays back. Let's take a look under the front. We have some oil seepage around the pan. Looks like it may be coming from the level sensor just based on location. Nothing dramatic. Big ass bypass valve on this one. Oh, messing with my GoPro. That's all looking okay. What was that?
Do you know where your default meter is?
That is in the drawer under the microwave oven thing. Cook's mid pipe. Rear end looks good. Not leaking at the axle seals or anything. Yeah, it's a pretty solid car. Hate to see him having so much trouble with it. Interesting. Dynamat down there. Oh, MGW shifter. Awesome. Love those things. Checking the ProCharged oil since we don't know if that's been done. Sounds like it's gotten hot. And we do still have a little bit down there. I would suggest changing that. All right, so we are recording. We'll go do the cylinder check now. I already see we have some long-term trims learned. We shouldn't have long-term trims on this. Come on. Catch for me. Oh, we're getting there. Yeah! You can do it! $184, $202, 206, 238. $223, $225, $232, $226. We're gonna back Mr. Sergi out now, take a listen to the cam, and after we have that done, we will load a calibration on there so that we can get the idle settled down and under control. Let's take a listen. Coolant temperature is still low. Right calibration, only idle changes. We have the right scaler for the Nick Williams throttle body. We have a little bit of adjustment to the proportional integral derivative idle control loops. We have a more appropriate base running airflow value, and we're going to see how that sounds. Anytime you change the idle parameters, it has to relearn the idle routine, so the first startup's going to be a little probably. After that it'll catch on, and we'll use the startup to where we can, if it feels like it's a low startup or a high startup, that tells us how we need to adjust our parameters to get it in the ballpark. So we're going to pay attention here when we crank this. Get a log going. Say that's just a little low, but look, no surges. We have a nice steady idle. Let's go listen to it. I'm gonna go for a drive. We are going to temporarily turn off long-term fuel trims and clear them. That way we can get good short-term fuel trim data and see how well the calibration was written to start with. Sounds good now. Nope. More air! Please, more air! Well, let's add a little bit more base running airflow, not a whole lot this time. Let's slow the proportional loop down by 20%. Let's see what that does to it.
What you doing this time?
More startup airflow and ramping it in slower. Ramping it out slower, rather. GoPro helmet bothers me. Gotta build it into a hat or something. So it catches idle, just not the greatest. It could be better. We'll get it better. One step at a time. Everybody loves a before and after. Let's see how we did after some minor adjustments to the calibration. Nice and steady. We'll start a log. About as close as we're gonna get until we actually tune fueling all the way. Got a nice good rhythm so far, and we're gonna drive around town and see how well it idles and how well it drives and doesn't die anymore. Out of gear, catches idle, nice and choppy. We can also push in the clutch, catches idle, beautiful. Does all the things just like it's supposed to. We still have some fueling adjustments to make. The VVE table was turned on and just not tuned well. I believe this is calibrated too lean too in terms of power enrich. This thing has a supercharger on it, and the power enrich EQ ratio target is what we set NA cars to. So, you know, lean is not always mean. Out of gear. Idling just fine. It's not that hard. Just gotta use the right parameters and actually calibrate it to do what it's supposed to do. We're gonna pretend this is a stop we're coming to. Just play make-believe. Now we'll do the autopilot test. We'll see if it'll drive itself in second gear. Throttle, happy car. follower tricks or anything. This is just how the car is supposed to run.